We're getting down to the end here of the top 30 greatest Raw moments in history. We have the top 10 now, number 10 through number 6. Number 10, Shane McMahon revealed as the new owner of WCW. This is from 2001. In real life, WCW had been sold to the WWE. It was the end of an era, and it was a very bizarre night because at the beginning of Nitro, you had Vince McMahon of all people appear on camera proclaiming himself as the new owner of WCW. And Vince announced a simulcast later on in the evening, and it was just something that was unheard of. I mean, we knew WCW was having issues, but nobody ever thought that it would come down to this, where Vince McMahon would have control of both companies. So at the end of the show, you have Vince McMahon come down. He's on Nitro. He's on Raw. Regardless of which show you're watching, you're seeing Vince McMahon. Vince gets in the ring. He brags about being the owner of WCW and speculates on what he's going to do with the company. And then all of a sudden, Shane McMahon comes down. Shane McMahon gets into the ring, and he gets on the mic. He says that, yes, it's true. The name on the document does say McMahon, but the name on the contract, in fact, reads Shane McMahon. And they had a split screen here, so you could see Shane and Vince at the same time. And Vince's reaction to this, I mean, Vince is just so damn good as a performer, and his reaction here just makes this one of the greatest segments ever. Vince had the perfect reaction to it, and this was really a significant moment, not just in Raw history, but in wrestling history, because it was the end of WCW, and the wrestling world as we knew it had changed forever. So it wasn't just a storyline, this was real life here. So very, very critical moment in wrestling history. So one of the top Raw moments for sure. Number 8, Steve Austin brings out a beer truck from 1999. This was the week before WrestleMania 15. The corporation, Vince, Shane, and The Rock got into the ring, cut a promo, and then all of a sudden, you had Steve Austin coming out. Now, he had come out before with the Zamboni, so he had to one-up himself here. He comes out with this huge-ass beer truck, and the beer truck's so big that it could barely get through the entranceway, and the sign and everything starts to fall apart as he's coming out with the beer truck. He comes all the way down to the ring, gets on top of the beer truck, the fans are going crazy, and then Steve Austin grabs the hose and starts spraying the corporation with it, and the crowd is just going nuts. This was an all-time classic Austin versus McMahon moment, no doubt about it. And you have Vince McMahon in there. Once again, such a great performer. He's in there, he's being sprayed with beer, and he's just swimming around like a fish. Just hilarious stuff right here. And one of the most played segments in Raw history. Every time WWE does a Raw recap, they always show this segment. So it's definitely at the very top of the greatest Raw moments. Number 8, the alliances formed. You had WCW sold to WWE. Also, ECW had gone out of business, so WWE was all of a sudden the only game in town. Now, they did own the rights to WCW and ECW, so we started to see this storyline where WCW guys were coming in. You had this WCW invasion, but then there was this big swerve. You had the WCW guys brawling with WWE guys. You had a bunch of WWE guys like the Dudley Boys come down. And it looks like the Dudley Boys and the other guys are going to help WWE against WCW. But then all of a sudden, they slowly start to turn away from the WCW guys and they stare down the WWE guys. And right at this moment, you have Paul Heyman on commentary. Feel this moment, JR. Feel this moment for the rest of your life. And then all of a sudden, the Dudley Boys, the former ECW stars, and the WCW stars team up against the WWE stars. And you have Paul Heyman get into the ring and proclaim the rebirth of ECW. And you have RVD and Tommy Dreamer out there, and just a huge, shocking moment right here. Something you were not expecting, and just one of the most memorable segments ever in WWE, and definitely one of the most memorable segments in Raw history. Number 7, Jim Ross's shoot promo from 1996. In my opinion, this was the first of its kind. This was the first time somebody went out there and really cut a worked shoot promo on live television in WWE. Now, ECW had been doing stuff like this for a few years, but this was the first time that WWE was really starting to start to break kayfabe and start to push the envelope with the content and stuff that they're saying. You had Jim Ross come out there, and I believe this was the first time ever that Vince McMahon had been acknowledged as the owner of the WWF on live television. So this was a groundbreaking moment right here. This was something that had never been done before, and it set the standard. Without this, you wouldn't have Joey Styles cutting a shoot promo. You wouldn't have CM Punk cutting a shoot promo. This was groundbreaking for its time. And Jim Ross just went out there and just vented and mentioned being fired several times. And he says, "You like it that I can't close one eye more than the other?" Just at the time, you were like, what the hell is going on here? And all of a sudden, WCW had the whole NWO storyline, and that was great television right there. But all of a sudden, you tune in the Raw and you see this, and you're like, what's going on here? I might want to check this out more. So, very, very important moment in Raw history. Number 6, Eric Bischoff appears on Raw. This was, you want to talk about shocking, this was something that was extremely surreal. You see Eric Bischoff out of nowhere. I mean, there was no hype for this, no rumors or discussion about it. They literally had him in a limousine hiding from people so it wouldn't leak on the internet. So when Eric Bischoff came out, everyone's jaw just dropped. It was something you never thought you would see. Eric Bischoff comes out. He hugs Vince McMahon, his arch rival, for several years, all those years in the Monday Night Wars, and now they are embracing. And you have Eric Bischoff come down to the ring. He's on Raw. This isn't Nitro. This is Raw. You have Eric Bischoff out there. In my opinion, the most surreal moment in Raw history, definitely. Maybe not the greatest moment, but certainly the most surreal moment.